Good morning, everyone. My name is Jasmo, and today is a special day. I am co-hosting a critique show with the founder of Watch Me Work, Chris. Chris, hello. How are you today? Oh, damn it. Hang on. Hang on. Fail. We're live. I just failed miserably. Go ahead.
Guys know I'm not really an artist. I'm a video producer and animator. So I will lend my layman's eye to the artwork and pretty much otherwise lean on you guys for your expertise in critiquing and, giving feedback on each other's artwork. So anyway, the idea behind these weekly art critique streams is for us to have a place to come together to help each other, essentially. And so I just kind of wanted to remind everyone, and I'm sure most of you guys have actually given critiques before and had critiques done before, that we want to make them, constructive. So just, I don't think we're going to have any major problems with trolley kind of comments or people being negative, but just try and remember that we're here to help one another. So be cool. Otherwise, bad things will happen.
The banhammer will come down.
Yeah. Even though we don't have it, I don't know if I'm, I don't know if I'm encouraging trollers. No, we don't have the technology to technically block people on our site yet, but that will come soon enough if we have to. Am I too loud? Who's
I
too?
I don't know. I'm asking everyone else
Oh,
watching if your volume is too loud because I did another epic fail and forgot to turn your volume up until you're about halfway through your speech.
oh. Okay, cool.
So they got to hear the back half of that.
Basically, you just heard that if you're a troll, you're going down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's kind of my spiel for now. I think as we go on week to week, there'll probably be certain things that I want to talk about the site, about things that we're doing. But that's my spiel for now. So maybe we can start talking about art.
Sure. What do you want to talk about first? We got the Exquisite Corpse and critique.
Yeah, I thought it could be kind of fun to just crack open one of the exquisite corpses, and I would like to hear your thoughts on them, on these weird pieces of art that we're making, especially because, several people from here have contributed to the Exquisite Corpse. It'd be kind of fun just to kind of see how people's styles meld together here.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one we did was for Halloween,
Yeah.
and this purple orange pumpkin guy is what came out of it.
I can't see it yet. Oh,
Yeah.
that's because I'm still on the 30-second delay from your screen.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
okay. Oh, there it comes up.
it might be a bit delayed for you. Next time we'll do Google Hangouts so we can better uh sync up and whatnot and talk about this a little bit better.
It's up now, though, for me.
Okay. I think let me start turning off layers here so I can just get down to the raw lines maybe. Sort of. Leave this guy. Wow. Glow. Wow, I colored the lines and everything. Okay, so that doesn't really work too hot. All right.
You did everything, is what you're trying to say.
I didn't do everything. I just did the colors. I just did the colors in the background, but someone else did the actual pumpkin face.
That was C3K.
Awesome. I I've never seen him draw anything like that, so that was kind of surprise.
Huh.
And then someone else did the torso.
That was who was that? I think that may have been. Oh shoot, I forget who that was. I believe it was Slumbering Giant that did the dress and tentacles, but I'm not sure who did the torso. Unless it was Slumbering Giant that did the torso, I don't remember. Somebody did.
So we had like 3 or 4 different artists working on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, I might. Do I have the original? Okay, I don't have the original. If I did, I would pop it up. Actually, do you have the original?
Probably, but it would be hard for me to display it.
Yeah, okay. And it'll take a lot of time. The power of layers, yes.
Oh, and one other little side note: we're planning on kind of making these art criticisms just 30 minutes to start, just to kind of hopefully leave everyone wanting a little bit more for next week, so we don't like completely just like go on for hours,
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it short and sweet, and we will lengthen it if we ever want to, but that's what we're kind of thinking, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the other one too.
Okay.
That one kind of is a little bit better for layers. Um, I totally misunderstood that this was an autumn piece.
Really?
Yeah, because I put in the blue bushes in the background. I should have put in like orange or red instead of blue. And I mistook it for Christmassy things because of the um, crap. What the hell are these things called? You put on trees. Ornaments. There you go. Because of the ornaments.
That the October one seemed to come together really well. I think maybe it's because you did a lot of the background, like as one person, you did the background, so it kind of made it cohesive.
Yeah. I could draw everything together with colors. Yeah, because on this one, the entire person was already colored. Already colored. The only thing that wasn't colored was the squirrel dude,
And
basically.
that was actually that Isabel drew and colored the face
Hmm.
and the head and the. I don't know. I think she did do the deer ear and antlers on there as well. And then Slumbering Giant colored the jacket on this one. And then somebody else did the squirrel, the hilarious squirrel dropping his acorn.
Yeah, okay. So on this one, I actually have the layers built out for each person. So Chrissy did the ornaments and the little key necklace.
All right.
And Secula, yeah, did the squirrel and the nut. And I think you're right, Slumbering Giant did the jacket. C3K did the something.
He started it, so his idea was to have the leaf have glasses, I think.
Uh-huh.
So if you like zoom in there, I think the leaf is actually sort of wearing glasses. Ah, yes, Sekula did the squirrel. Um, uh, and then Isabel took that idea a little further and turned it into this. I don't know. Someone said that. Someone said that they thought the character was supposed to resemble me somehow. I don't. I don't know if that's possible. Looks kind of like a woman to me, but
A little bit feminine.
um, yeah. So she took it further into this sort of deer type humanoid person. Um, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
It turned out really great. Yeah, it was a leaf with glasses. Yeah, 30 minutes will go by pretty quick on critiques and whatnot. So those were the two exquisite courses that we did, or yeah, that we all did like collectively, and Chris
Oh,
helped coordinate it.
and we're partially through our hey, there's C3K. Um, we're partially through December's, and I need someone else to hand off the Exquisite Corpse to. So if you want it, say you want it in the chat, and I will send it to you. It's going to be pretty cool, I think.
All right, so I guess on to an actual critique.
All right,
Right.
let's do this thing.
The first one we have is from Isabel, and she said she's not done with this. This is totally a work in progress. So that is understood, definitely. And this is a nice piece. I like it. I like it quite a bit how it's coming along so far.
Yeah, it's cool.
And people in the chat, even though there's a delay, feel free to say stuff. I'll repeat it. I'll like talk about it. You know, have a conversation. We'll have a conversation. Um, Overall, it looks like it has really good balance. Once it gets a little bit more refined, if you still work on it, Isabel, I don't know if you still want to work on it or not. But the colors are pretty awesome. I love working in blues. Blues are very nice and calming, cool to work with. Water reflection, though, oh my god. The water reflections will be, at least for me, they're difficult. Super difficult. But it looks like you already are getting a grasp on it up here. I just don't know how far done you are, how far into, oh, that's huge. You are working on it.
One thing that I sort of noticed about it, looking at it yesterday, was, and this is probably sort of the work in progress sort of nature of it, but it seems like the foot and like the lower part of the body are less sort of finished, maybe, or maybe that's a stylistic thing, but they seem kind of blurry. And so I wasn't sure if that was like a work in progress part of it or a stylistic choice.
I'm pretty sure that would be a work in progress, because here's the actual foot, but the sketch is like out over here on the sides, right? Um, and Secula says maybe the head's a little bit just too big. I agree. The face seems a little bit large for the position that we're looking at her from.
Mm.
And Isabel does want to finish it. All right. Awesome. Good. The face does seem a little bit too big because we are looking, we're below her looking up, right? And just on the perspective view, her head should probably be smaller than like her butt, basically. And her foot is fine the way it is. But this does feel like the face here could shrink just a little
Right.
bit. Because when you look over your shoulder and someone's looking at you from like below, you can probably just barely see someone's eyes.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that is the other odd part about it is that it is hard to tell sort of where the virtual camera is at
yeah.
in this piece, and maybe what you're saying there would correct that. If you sort of made the head a little smaller, it'd be more clear that we're more underneath her.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Pretty much. And Secula points out a good thing, that blurriness is also a way to implicate movement. This is true. There definitely is a difference between sketchiness and blurry. Sketchiness and blurry. Like I can tell this hand, this knee, even part of this arm. They're in the sketchy phases, right? They're in the concept, getting positions correct and whatnot phase. My only question is, where is her other leg? Is if she's holding up both legs, this would be colored in. Obviously, still work in progress. But this might be part of a foot over here on the side next to her calf. Not entirely sure. But still.
Hmm.
Critiquing works in progress are kind of hard because you don't know what's totally intentional or is really going to get a lot more work. Yeah.
Oh, and I apologize. I am a jerk because Isabel sent me a little blurb
About it.
about it, and I was actually encouraging her to put it in the chat, but forgot to do that.
All right.
So let me pull that up here. La la la.
By the way, Isabel, this is my favorite part. This jellyfish up here next to her head.
Okay.
I love it.
So
Oh.
she says, not been at this for very long, in fact, a few hours at most. I'm at the crucial point where I stop sketching and start finishing, which is painting in more details. Much as I checked my sketch before starting this step, I still feel something is off, and that might be sort of what we're tapping into with the perspective.
Oh, okay.
Even maybe when it comes to the colors, although I choose a pretty easy palette, complementary colors. All in all, I'm having doubts, and I need a fresh eye. Thanks for the help.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And Isabel, thank you for pointing out where her leg is. This little bump right here is actually her knee. Okay, I see it now. I see it now. Her other leg comes out and then goes down, and her foot is in the jellyfish. Okay.
Is she being stung by the jellyfish?
I don't think so.
Have you ever been stung by a jellyfish?
No.
I had one, or a nest of them, sting one of my legs, and I literally had thousands of stings. Like it was like a thick bracelet around my ankle one time.
Ouch.
Not fun. It was not fun. And no one peed on me.
Oh.
No, you're all thinking it.
Then very, very unlucky.
Yeah, it was not my favorite day at the beach.
Okay. Isabel says she sees the head thing that we were mentioning where it seems like it's just a little bit too big. She can see it a little bit better now. Cool. Okay, so this is okay. This jelly sketch. I'm trying to read the sketchy a little bit because I see like two different heels, a few places. Or no, this is hair, isn't it? This is hair. It looks like this is hair, or if not a heel. The sketch itself, if you flesh out the leg and refine these really dark blue jellyfish a little bit more, yeah, would help a lot. I like the complementary colors. Done very well. We can tell it's really sunny outside. She's got red hair, blue eyes. The shadows you've got going are nice. They should be on the blue, kind of the greeny to the dark blue side that you already have going on. This little jellyfish almost looks... He probably needs a little bit more refinement. This one up top is probably the best example to follow. I love that one so much. For some reason, it was just done really well. Yeah. The hair
Mike,
looks great,
would
nice
you-
and flowing. Go ahead, Chris.
Do you recommend doing anything else to give it more of an underwater feel? Like, it's got a really cool nature to it now, and that it almost feels like otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'm just curious, like, would you recommend trying to do something to show more where she's at in the depth of the water? I mean, almost seems like she could be in the sky because it's so hard to tell the space of where she's at. We know she's in the water because of the way her hair is moving and the way her body's moving and the jellyfish. But I'm just curious if there's things that could be done to the background or the environment to make it feel more underwater.
Yes. And I just pulled up a little image of a water texture. Water does this really cool thing where it reflects light and, casts that almost net-like appearance. But that usually happens, in more shallow waters. So she's near the surface, which it looks like she is because the water is really bright above her head and her hair is really lit up by the sunlight. Adding in some of this water texture, this netting of light would help. And, refining the surface a little bit more in the same way. And also maybe some very subtle bubbles would probably also help. Yeah, the sunlight effects would help. Yeah. So up top is the most refined. Okay. Do this. Hang on. Hang on. Let me see if I can do something weird. Might help. Sort of. I will do that. Transform that. Overlay that. I mean, it doesn't have to be that huge. It'd be really subtle. And you don't have to do it in the same texture. I would prefer to put it in by hand, but adding in that little webbing of light would help quite a bit to push her more underwater. And that webbing of light you would only see like on the top of her arm, the top of her hair, wherever the sunlight is hitting. It wouldn't be in any of the shadows. But yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Alright. They got it in the chat? Nice, yeah, Carl said it best. And everyone's, I think, understanding it okay. And he even has, an example.
Let's check it out.
For the light, yeah. For water, it's really light up top, and then it gets dark pretty quickly when you're underwater. Unless water's just like really crystal clear.
Seeing as we only have about 7 minutes left of our half hour, should we go on to a new picture, or do you want to spend more time on this one?
We could go either way, actually.
Why don't we move on to another one, and then potentially if Isabel works more on this one and we want to come back to it on another week, we can always do that.
Okay.
By the way, if you guys want to, you can always email me your pictures for critiquing. Most of you guys have my email address, but it's chris@watchmework.com, and we can queue them up. And also, too, the idea is going to be to rotate hosts every week. So I will try and co-host, and if anyone else wants to host a critique, then they can do that, and we'll just jump on the same call.
Okay, so this next piece, I have no idea who did it.
That is C3K.
Oh, okay.
That's Sergio.
Okay. Let's see, okay. Okay. Obviously, it's a girl on a beach. Sunset, I am assuming. because you know, orange sky, orange to dark sky.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, standing, ankle deep. Okay, yeah. Buzz down her feet. Shadow, rock, shadow. So, like Bob Ross would be a good example right now.
Is Bob Ross an expressionist?
No,
Is he an impressionist?
no.
What is he?
You don't know who Bob Ross is.
No, I mean, what kind of artist is he?
He's an oil painter.
But you wouldn't describe his art as being, like, impressionistic in any way?
No.
Okay. This is
I,
going to be my art history courses doing these critiques.
let's see. Trying to find a good example, that's not too overwhelming. A good example that's not too overwhelming, and I think this might be the best example I can find. Oh, it's really tiny. It's really tiny. Let me enlarge it just a little bit. So C3K, you could have actually sketched a lot more. And by sketching, I mean you could use lines. You could use lines quite a bit more for the water to indicate where water is and where the waves are on the beach. Much like there like some lines here, essentially give little indications out in the distance here and there, and that would also help get the perspective of the image to help give you where the planes are, where the water is. The figure itself is well done. We can tell it is a person, obviously standing in water looking out to sea. Hair is good, anatomy is good, definitely. The rocks, while smooth, they do read as rocks, which is good. We can tell it's sunset, which is good. Her right leg has a knee on the back. I actually do read that as being the back of her leg, because this is the crease, the indent behind her
Yeah,
leg.
I don't see it. Oh, I could see how you could see it that way.
Yeah,
That you could almost look at that leg as reversed, but it didn't jump out to me that way.
yeah. You could have shaded the back of her a little bit darker, kind of like you did the rocks, really dark. You could have had more contrast behind her, and just have like the outline have just this kick light, kind of how like you did on the hair. How you have it really light on the hair and the rest of it's really dark. You could have actually made the back of her quite a bit darker. And maybe her shadow as well. But a good use of color. Because I'm thinking this water is very clear. So it could read as green during a nice yellow sunset. And I do like that you faded the light consistently for both the sky and the water. Your sand does look like sand. Is there anything you would want us to pick out specifically on how to like improve? I like the composition. The balance is done in in thirds very nicely. I like the clouds. I like the shape of the clouds, how much volume they have.
One thing that I looked at when I first opened this one was with this view, it felt like the horizon was super flat. Would there be any reason to give a slight curve to it to sort of show the distance and the curvature like of the horizon?
Um, you might actually blur the horizon to give it distance. Maybe. We can try and see what that looks like. If you, because it's really, really sharp. It is super sharp.
Maybe that
Blurring,
was noticing.
blurring it might help to push it back. And, yeah. I don't know if you guys can tell, can see that. I think blurring kind of did help a little bit. Oh, your worst nightmares are colors. Yeah, colors can be a really big pain. They can. Looking at examples or picking out a color palette from that paletteon.com or whatever helps quite a bit. Looking at other pictures you would like to color in a similar fashion helps a lot as well. References are awesome.
So yeah, Isabel said she would have done less colors. Would you have done the same? Would you have picked less colors to work with?
Um, that it really depends on what I would go for personally. Personally, I might reflect the sunlight in the water, kind of how Bob Ross did. He has yellow in his sky, and he has yellow in the light source passing through onto his wet sand. But I would have done that for the water, possibly the sand, or if I would have at least reflected the yellow sun in the water, where it is right here, and then had it play out to blue on the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even the clouds, I would have lit yellow on the bottom and then like blue or purple on the backside where the shadows are. Yeah. So technically, yeah, I probably would have only used 3, maybe 4 colors for the sky and water together. Trying to find more examples
Okay, cool.
of that
Well,
happening, but it's hard to, because if you're doing oil paintings, traditional paintings, it's really nice to have a contrasting sky and whatnot, like this piece. Oh, come here. So you still could have done like an orange sky with a bluish green water, but still there's only like a little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange, some blue, and then like a tiny bit of green, tiny 4 colors. And it's essentially what Character 3K did, but there's the yellow, orange, red, really dark blue, some cobalt blue, some green, tan, and then the rocks as well, which could have been a really dark color. So it has like 8 or 9 colors going on. That could have been refined down to like 3 or 4. But colors are complicated. And they're fun to experiment with too.
cool. Well, we're going over our half an hour mark here,
All right.
and before we go, I kind of wanted to just ask a couple more questions of you guys in the chat, unless there's anything else you really want to hit on here in the picture first.
You're all good.
Okay. Cool. So first thing is, did you guys like this? Was it good? Was it valuable? Was the format good? Give me a quick yes or no in the chat on if it was fun and helpful. And then the other thing was, I just wanted to talk about, a lot of people's goals for streaming these days seems to be building up an audience. Like I was talking to somebody else on Twitch the other day, and he was like, "I want to build a huge, I want to build a huge audience." And I think that is an admirable goal. And I think that everybody sort of, has a desire to have an audience to follow them and to be interested in their work, and that makes a lot of sense. But one of the things that I'm seeing coming out of this, and in my mind seems to be a fairly big value, is just the collaborative sort of nature of things. Like Jasmo, you and Character 3K have collaborated on some things. I've seen some pretty cool interactions between people about just technically how to use some of the software. So I guess my question or my statement really is, I guess don't underestimate the value of just seeing somebody, introducing yourself, and working with them for a little bit. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Jasmo, or advice to people or what have you, but
Well, when you
go ahead.
collaborate with someone and you brainstorm with someone, you're both learning. And you're both learning really, really quickly because you can immediately bounce ideas off of people, ask questions, get an immediate second opinion, so you have a second pair of eyes, and collaborations usually come out much better than working alone. At least for me, I collaborate with a lot of people a lot of the times, and it comes out super awesome most of the time.
Hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. Got to learn a lot of things, especially if someone already knows a direction they want to head in, and we can head in that direction together. It's a journey for sure.
Hmm. Well, and also too, like one of the neat things that I saw between you and C3K is he's more focused on sketching and you're more focused on coloring. So it's quite nice to be able to have somebody with an area of expertise that they can, if there's a place where you're learning, they can inform you a bit about. And everyone does it a little bit differently too, which is kind of cool. Everyone is saying that half an hour feels a little bit short.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Um, Although I will say, I do think we'll play with the time. Obviously, maybe we'll try for 45 minutes or something next time.
Okay.
But I do think it is maybe more valuable a lot of times to do a shorter stream so that we kind of build up some momentum and we don't like just create a boring hour. I would rather have like a good moving half hour than a kind of a slow moving hour. So maybe we'll try for 45 minutes next time if that sounds good to people.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I'm open for anything.
Okay, cool. Then I guess that kind of wraps up the crit part of things.
It
Are you
does.
going to keep streaming just work, or are you wrapping it up in general here?
I'm thinking I'm gonna color a piece. I like to color a piece a day if I can. So I'm
Cool.
I'm I'm gonna stop my stream and then restart it, so this can be its own separate video.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for everyone for tuning in. This was so cool to see, and I'm super excited to do it again next week. And we will keep rotating the host. If you guys want to host, feel free to email me, and we will put you in queue for hosting. Although next week being the week of Christmas,
Hmm.
we may want to take a break potentially. So I didn't really think about that before we started this. Hey, well, you know what? It's still the 22nd next week. What the heck? Let's go for it. We'll see what happens, and we will keep it rocking.
All right. There we go. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. I will be right back with a new show. Stick around.